Welcome back to another episode of Two Average Husbands. I am your host, Jake.
I'm your host, Kyle. Welcome back, everybody. Jake, talk to us about what you're drinking this week.
Oh man, you took it out from under me, so I couldn't take it out from under you. I feel attacked personally.
You should.
Ooh, which one should I start off with? Okay, we'll go with this one. I'm going to start with Brothership Brewing's Plasma Wave Orange Dream, which is an ice cream inspired fruited sour ale, which is it's orange puree and vanilla.
Why do they all have to be sours?
Because that's the only way that people make beer that tastes like candy.
That's semi-true. They do a pretty good job with like some of your wheat beers and like ambers and making them taste like. I think the orange dreamsicle would be a pretty easy kill on those ones.
Yeah, I totally am fine with like fading sours if it's like supposed to taste like something that wouldn't be a little sour to begin with, but I think like citrus sours are kind of that like happy medium where it's like you should be kind of sour. Like I'm expecting something that's citrusy to have a little bit of a sour note to it.
Yeah.
How about you, Kyle? What are you drinking?
I also have to think about what I'm going to start with, and I think the intelligent thing for me to do is to throw a shout out to my friend that gave me the bottle of this and crack open the old Templeton Rye whiskey. It is an Iowa whiskey. It's the Reserve. I am going to blank on what year this is. I have to go look, and I can do that if anybody really wants me to. I'd be happy to stand up and walk 5 feet into my kitchen. However, Templeton Rye, this is the first time having tried this particular one. I'd had the 4-year quite a bit, and it was really good. But yeah, this one's different.
I love Templeton Rye. It's one of my favorite ryes that I've had.
Yeah, I love it too.
So, while I get to, Kyle told me that I had to stall for a few minutes before he could come up with this topic for this week since he was a little bit swamped at work today. So we're going to go ahead and kind of just officially announce something. Apologize for the dogs in the background. If you listen to our podcast, you know that it's going to happen and you just accept the fact that my wife runs a dog rescue and I have 6 dogs in my house. So, 1 second.
Just deal with it. But 1 second. I'm going to try to not make it happen.
Yeah, it's fine. Just yelling at them real quick. We got some people in the class here. It's a class now apparently. Michael is drinking some canned sage cranberry water, which is THC CBD infused. I've had a CBD like infused sparkling water before. Never had one with THC in it.
Yeah, I have definitely not.
Yeah, it's just not. Props to you. I hope it's delicious. That's what we're always shooting for with our beverages of choice. But like I was saying, to officially announce something that we had talked about previously on an episode, if you were here for the 1-year anniversary episode, we had talked about it. It is official. We will be starting a Husbands and Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons session that we will be recording in large chunks and posting on the either on its own channel or on the Two Average Husbands channel. I still got to talk to Kyle about that one and see what he wants to do, but we'll hash it out live. Kyle, what do you want to do?
What do I want to do? I think this thing developed way faster than I had any control over because the chat just decided to turn into this massive thing while I wasn't really able to talk because I was really busy with work. And then I caught back up to 5,000 messages about this. And now I'm just into forced compliance with whatever happens. So I don't really care if we put it on this channel. It doesn't really bother me. Shout out to Jed, who you guys have seen on the podcast before as well, by the way. He was on that episode and he is part of the original idea. And now he is going to be joining us into the Husbands and Dragons with some of his friends, and Jake's brother will be joining us, Logan, who you guys have all pretty much met before if you've been around the podcast for a while as well.
Yes, Logan will be our dungeon master, as it's apparently called. So he will be running the session with the rest of us, with Kyle, Jed, Kyle's friend, Sean, and myself being the main characters behind the story. Did I repeat something?
Kyle's friend, and I don't have anybody.
Jed's friend. Jed's friend, Sean.
Oh, okay. I have a brother named Sean. Shout out Sean. Hi, Sean.
Shout out Sean. We'll have you on the podcast one day, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we'll get him on here.
Someday.
Just tell him I'm there, if he even remembers who I am.
He's going to be like, who the fuck are you talking about?
I'll be like, oh, that guy.
Like I played Fortnite with one time 6 years ago or whatever it was.
Hey, I went to Riot Fest with you guys.
That's true. He will remember you from that. I would imagine.
I would hope so. We weren't that drunk that day.
No. I was tired.
we took naps between some of the sets because we were just like, we just need a break.
Yes.
But yes, that will be coming. We are recording our first session on Friday, so that'll probably be live on YouTube sometime the week after that. So we're gonna cut it up into sessions, so it'll be a digestible hour or so for each session. You'll get to hear all the intros and join us on our journey to wherever the hell Logan is taking us, because we gave him the reins, and whatever happens, happens.
Logan really fucking took this and sprinted too. Like I said, this all just really developed.
It was.
I was like partially intoxicated when this got talked about on the first year anniversary episode, and then all of a sudden it became this side text chain, and then another side text chain, and then people were getting roped in out of nowhere. And Logan's just like, I have all of the things. And just
Jed was also, shout out Jed, was like, I'm very much into this. Let's do it. Here's everything that we need to happen, and here's when we're starting. Him and Logan definitely
adopted a lot of free time because
Yes.
he is in this weird middle ground of transitioning in his career. So he has nothing but time, and now Husbands and Dragons is becoming his official job for a little while.
Yeah, honestly. We're not paying him either, so it's an unpaid internship. Yeah, we don't get paid either.
We are
Shout out to anybody who wants to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Shout out Bud Light, shout out Michelob Ultra, shout out Pipeworks Brewing, shout out Brothership, shout out any brewery, really. If you make beer,
Just really
we'll drink
any
it.
company.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get one that's like, hey, husband or Two Average Husbands, we're calling you from Xlax, and we'd really like to sponsor you.
Today's episode presented by Xlax. You ever struggled to take a shit? You won't anymore. See, I gave you the first ad read, Xlax. Pay us for this.
Perfect.
No free shout outs. Anyways, I think I have stalled for long enough. I hope. I gave you like 5 minutes there.
I'm gonna segue my Riot Fest conversation right into this, which isn't like a great topic, but it'll be fun. So let's start off with this. How would you define now, at your current age and state in life, what does going out mean to you?
Fucking nothing. If I go to the drive-through, I went out for the evening. I'm so boring. Like, honestly, I've never been one to like go out to clubs. Never even really been one to go out to bars all that much. Like, I will for like people's birthdays. Like, we'll do like bar crawls and stuff like that. Go to the bar after our softball games. But for me, like, I would say the closest thing I do is like going to wineries or breweries. Like, that's going out for me.
Okay, so get into more detail about it. Like, what does this night look like, right? Jake Perry is going out for the night. What does that look like?
Usually with the wife, because all of my friends live across the country, and so we do things like podcasts to hang out together. But usually we will pick somewhere that we want to go for drinks, and then we'll pick somewhere for dinner around there. So we'll look up a brewery, we'll pick a winery. We've got a couple favorites in the area that we like, so we go to them quite frequently. Every once in a while, we'll try and branch out to new stuff too. So we'll pick the drinks first, really, and then pick the food around it. Sometimes we can't find anything that we really want to eat, so we'll just go to the brewery and order food there, because most of them allow you to bring in your own food. Just hang out, honestly, just hang out and have a few drinks.
So it's kind of like a food split for you now as an adult.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
And I'm gonna have a couple drinks, but there's gonna be food involved.
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you ever like just go to a place and sit down just to drink?
Not really, no. Which is weird, because I don't like to eat when I drink.
Yeah,
But
just feel super full, especially if you're drinking beer.
especially too, like, we never Uber anywhere. We always just end up driving. So
Yeah.
I'm not drinking enough that I'm getting drunk usually. Or if I'm getting drunk, Jess isn't. If Jess is getting drunk, I'm not. So that way one of us is sober and able to drive legally and just make sure everybody gets home safely.
That's typically what we do as well. But I will say, like, I'm at a point in my life right now where I would pay. I don't know what the dollar limit is, just thinking about it right now, but I would just absolutely Uber, like, straight from my house to the bar and then back to my house so that I don't have to drive, for multiple reasons. Like, right, like, A, it's too far to walk, so I don't like live in an atmosphere or an environment where I could literally walk to any bar. It's just all far away from my house. Second of all, I hate parking downtown in Tucson. If you've ever been, I think it's a fucking nightmare. I think their parking is terrible. It's either on the street, like blocks away, or it's paid parking in the downtown, and I don't like to do that because I'm a cheapo.
Welcome to Chicago.
Which is funny because I'm about to talk about how I would rather just pay $10, $12, $14 for an Uber to get me.
But exactly that though. Like if you're Ubering, you can pregame, so you don't have to get as many drinks while you're out, so you can save money that way.
If you're a young man's game too, though. Let's be honest.
It is, but it's also like if you just get like a nice buzz, like you get 2 beers in you before you walk out the door.
Well, it's funny to me that you would bring up pre-gaming when you just talked about how like I'm gonna go have dinner and drinks. Like, do you pre-game to go to fucking Applebee's for like?
I don't go to Applebee's. First of all,
you know what I mean.
Crapplebee's and I do not get along.
Hey,
I go to Chili's.
Chili's, yeah, okay. I didn't live around Chili's for a majority of my life, so I'm underexposed, so to speak, to Chili's.
Yeah. Usually, Chili's is somewhere we end up going a lot because Jess really likes, they do like the margarita of the month, and it's always like something you would never think to order, but they're always delicious. So we get those quite frequently. Well, I should say she gets those quite frequently. If I'm drinking when we're having like that night out, normally I'm having like a Coors Light, just a nice bottle of Coors Light, have 1 or 2 of those, drive us home.
Yeah.
Like if I were...
So contrast this now, right? So obviously this is where I'm going with this conversation. So let's talk about now, we've defined this, right? Like my going out experience as Jake Perry now is I'm going to go have dinner and a couple drinks.
Yep.
Now go back. How old are you, 25?
About to be 27.
Okay, close enough. You never know how old I am either, so don't.
You're 28.
Yeah, I am now. That's true, but not for long. Anyway, let's roll back then 6 years. All right, so redefine 21. What does that mean?
Oh, 21. Jake was going to the bar to either black out or get in a fight. And it was usually the blackout and the fighting. I shouldn't say that. I never really got into fights. I almost got into a lot of fights because I'm the guy in the group who was always still sober enough to notice when weird, creepy shit was happening. And I'd be the guy who also wasn't afraid to say something about it.
Yeah.
So like the number of specifically one bar, if you are ever in St. Charles, Illinois, don't go to Alibi. It's disgusting. First of all, it's like a shitty dance club, and that's what it's supposed to be. And really, it's just a place Jake goes and almost gets into fights every time because somebody tries to touch a girl when they don't want them to be touched. And Jake is always the guy who says something about it. So, so that was honestly what happened a lot. But really, it was, if I was going out when I was 21, I was going out to get drunk. Like that's when I was Ubering, or we had a friend who would be a DD, or that was still when I lived closer to my family. And so I would have my brother's DD for me, like something like that. I had a plan in place that I didn't have to drive, and it was bar hopping. We'd start at one, like we would still honestly start at a dinner place. We'd have a few drinks there, normally TGI Fridays. Shout out Fridays, no free shout outs. Start out at TGI Fridays, and then we'd work our way to a bar and right by Alibi. So the reason that we ended up there quite frequently is there's like 4 bars and like one stretch of the street. So we'd end up just going to all of those bars. We would just like kind of hop between them. And then we'd end the night at Alibi because 1, they were open the latest. 2, everybody was so drunk they wanted to dance, which I never did, but I was there. So yeah, that's what it was. It was bar hopping. It was very regrettable hangovers because I would never stick to drinking one thing. Like now I'm mostly smart enough to stick to like, if I'm going to drink beer, I'm going to drink beer. If I'm going to drink liquor, I'm going to drink mostly liquor. Whereas then it was like, oh, we'll start at the restaurant. Give me an old fashioned. Give me whatever cocktail you have on special.
I don't think I drank a single old fashioned in college.
I did. I'm not going to lie. Drank a lot of those, but also drank a lot of Long Island. So it's not like I was that fancy.
A lot of Long Islands.
A lot of Long Islands.
Drink Kansas City Ice Waters?
Not familiar.
That's a good one too.
What is it?
It's just another blend of nonsense that gets thrown together.
There's so many of them.
I think,
there's like the trash cans. There's plenty of them.
It's like a Kansas City version of a Long Island, whatever that means.
Probably no tequila.
Let's see.
Whiskey.
Gin, vodka, lime juice, triple sec, and usually some sort of like soda.
I think there's just less types of alcohol in it than in a Long Island.
Yeah. Because I think there's 4 in a Long Island.
I think so.
It's close enough.
Yeah. So it would be that. It would start with like cocktails with dinner, and then it would switch to like vodka soda, vodka Red Bull.
I still don't think you're describing like the true experience of like what it was like. So okay, let me. I'll just start talking through.
I was
right?
blacking out. That's
Yeah,
what I
know,
was
but
doing.
I feel like you're doing this in such an official capacity, right? Like I'm
But
gonna go have a cocktail with dinner, dude. When I was in college, there were dudes pouring fucking scoops of pre-workout into a Four Loco and fucking going out. You know what I mean?
okay,
Like,
but
shit
so
was different, you know?
I wasn't in like a college town like you. Like you were closer to a college town than I ever had. I went to a community college for 2.5 years,
Yeah, okay,
and then
that's
went to a college in it was a dry campus for 2.5 years. Like so, I never really had that experience of like when I would visit friends at schools, we would do that shit. Like I went to Illinois State one time for Halloween. We were we were pre-gaming, and as part of the pre-game, we made jungle juice. And then we had a little bit of the bottle of Everclear that was left over, a little bit of a bottle of white wine. Jake was like, let's just mix these and walk around ISU drinking out of a wine bottle that has Everclear in it. So I'd pour Everclear in a bottle of wine, and I'm slugging that back. Well, I've also shotgunned 3 Red Bulls at the pregame because I need to stay up all night, or I'm drinking vodka Red Bull wherever we go. I'm with a backpack on with a little fifth of Jack Daniel's honey probably because it was cheap and disgusting. And I would just open it, and I'm drinking straight out of the bottle. I'm blacked out by 11:30. Somehow make it home at 2:15. Don't know where 2.5 hours went. And we just had ourselves a dandy little time.
That's the funny thing too, right? So like you look at this and you contrast like adult, right? So like for me, like in adult world, like it's very, very comparable to what you're saying, right? Like I'll go and I'll have a couple of drinks with dinner or whatever. And it's been a couple of years, and I would say COVID is at fault for that mostly. But for you know, given an average weekend in a month, like I would still go out to the bars, like for the purpose of just going out and having drinks, right? Like I would go have a good time or whatever, go, you know, just out to drink, not necessarily with dinner. But I would say a majority of the time now it's like, yeah, let's go grab dinner and I'll have a few drinks there, right? When you contrast that with college, and I think this is funny because I had a realization amongst a lot of people my age, right? So I was gone for a trip for work, and a lot of us were going out and having some drinks every once in a while, right? And we all go out, and we took a little, you know, day trip, and we went out 2 nights in a row. And so we go out Friday night, we go out Saturday night, and then Sunday we're all sitting there around like kind of like powwowing in a circle, right? And all of us were right around the same age, and we're all like, I think it's a 2-day max for us. It's a 2-day max. Like my body can't do more than that anymore. We were all just so fucking dead. And I think back about it, right? And so the college experience of this, right? Like what do I mean by like going out? I mean there is a drink special on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm probably gonna hit every single one of them, right?
Right.
Like it was just crazy. And you can't you can't do that when you get, and it's wild how quickly that happens, right? And I don't know if it's like atmospherics or it really is just like the effect of your on your body, but you make it 4 or 5 years down the road and you cannot do that anymore. You have a 5-year window where you can do that type of shit. And to be fair, like part of that, right, is probably underage drinking for a lot of people. And so maybe your window is like 7 years if you're a couple of years under the like under 21, and that's when you start, right? But like still, it is a short window where you can do that kind of shit, and then you're gonna get fucking punched in the face when you try to do it around 28, 29 years old. You can't do that shit anymore.
I still think I can.
I found out that I could 2 days.
I could do more. I could do like. So maybe that's like going to Country Thunder every year until COVID hit. Like maybe that trained me to like be able to do that constantly, or just growing up with Dane, one of the two, where like I could drink for 4 days straight, and like the 4th day would be Sunday, and I'd be back at work on Monday and not like bat an eye. And I even still like, I think the reason I get more hungover now is because I'm like, I have to be responsible. I can't hair of the dog this through breakfast and then just survive. Whereas
I feel like my hangovers are less bad now because I'm more responsible about the amount that I'm drinking and maybe throwing in a water here and there. You know what I mean?
My hangovers are definitely worse, but also
it's a lot more now than I used to. That's for sure.
If I want, but I think maybe that's just a willpower thing though. Like no matter how bad my hangover is, I can always power through. And like if I want to power through for another day of drinking, I can do that.
I don't know, man. I think 2's the limit. Maybe you need your 2 years gap between me and you.
Maybe I'll hit 28, 29, and I'll be like, you know what? Kyle was right.
I don't know. This might just be the point in your life where you hit it, but it was noticeable, right? And I'm not talking like, could I drink a couple drinks every day 7 days in a row. Yeah.
No, you're talking going
no
hard
I'm
for.
saying I can do that twice, and then I'm fucking down, and I need a day of rest. Like my liver is screaming, and I need to fucking chill out for a second, hit the reset button, and come back to reality because
Yeah.
there's no fucking way I can maintain that. Not that you should anywhere or need to, but it was just
Yeah.
it's funny when you start to compare and contrast what that looks like from not that long ago to now. And part of that too is just like your lifestyle changes. I get that, and like all of those things, right? Like I'm not living with 3 roommates anymore, and like sitting, like throwing a rock at the nearest bar that I could just walk to from the college campus, right? Like there's atmospherics that go into this thing too, right? But
Right.
it's just like I remember, you're planning out your drinking week more than your school responsibilities, right? Like Friday after class, I'm gonna hit Thirsty Thursday. There's margaritas on Taco Tuesday. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something
Half price margs at Pepe's on Tuesday. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I never had that phase, and maybe not having that phase is why I can still drink more if I need to.
It is interesting now to even think about this, because I thought we were going to have a lot more comparable experience, and I completely forgot, right? Like that you didn't really go to a 4-year university until your adult life.
Yeah, I just did basically through all of college. I did house parties. Like that's all. That was our area. That's just what we did.
Yeah.
Like we definitely weren't a college town by any means. Being
It's
a
weird
dry
how that-
campus,
You
like
go through those waves though too.
yeah, but
Because like even for us, right? Like I lived in a college town, and you'd still go through these phases where like house parties were just that thing. Like,
Yeah.
people were like, oh, the bar scene's just not for me, and like they'd have this like I'm too good for the bar scene, right? And like you'd go through these weird waves where it's like all house party everything, and then you'd go all bar everything for a while or whatever, and then there'd be the hybrid phase like in between where you're like we're gonna pregame at the house party. And then we're still
Then we're going to the
we're not
bar.
going out until like 11 p.m., which is another hilarious thing about like adult life. Like let's go out
yeah.
8 o'clock and get the fuck out of there before midnight.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Even now when I'm going out, I'm home by 11. I got dogs I got to take care of. I got responsibilities. Yeah. No, I wish I do wish I had more of like a traditional college experience from that sense of like having the ability to go out like that. Like I just think it would have been fun, and maybe I would appreciate going to bars a little bit more if I had that phase,
Yeah.
but I just never did.
It's funny because while you were talking, I wrote down a couple notes, and I'll end on this because we're kind of burning this topic a little long. But now, and like, it's funny, typically you think of like going out like in your college years, like let's go downtown, let's go to all these bars, right? And it's funny because in my more adult life, I had a friend one time who he lives on kind of like the busy street in town, and he happens to be like right on the same street as like your Applebee's, BJ's, Olive Garden, like Margaritaville. They're all on that road, all those restaurants. And so we started doing what we just called the Broadway bar crawl, and we just would go drink at restaurants. Like we didn't want to go downtown, so we'd like stop off at fucking Applebee's, have an appetizer and a beer, and then we'd go to Olive Garden, because if you go early enough, they have happy hour too, so like,
Right.
you go early enough on whatever day it is, and you just go get cheap drinks at all these freaking family restaurants. You get, by the time you're down at the end of it, you're already 3 sheets in the wind, but you're and sitting there, there's people having dinner.
Right.
We had a good time doing that. And the last thing that I'll say is that if you're from Iowa or you live in Iowa and you know this, and I'm sure you know this, is that bars on the Illinois side of the river are open an hour later. So what we would do in college is we'd go to Dubuque, we'd party until 2, and then we'd go across the river, party till 3, and then try to find our way back home, back to Iowa from there. It was a different time.
Much different time.
That's all I got.
That was a great topic. That was great. Now I'm reminiscing about all of the college party days.
Good times, yeah.
Good old times. All right, I'm going to change paces quite a bit and give a little shout out to something we used to do a little bit more frequently on these longer podcast episodes. We're going to have
Maybe I know where this is going.
We're going to have to fly through this a little bit, but I think we're going to be on a somewhat similar page because we've talked about the topic of breakfast before.
Yeah, we'll have to rapid fast this one, I'm sure.
But we're going to do a tier list that I found of random breakfast foods. The best part is I don't even know what everything is on here. So we are going to go ahead and share our screen, something I haven't done on this podcast in a while.
Share the screen.
Anybody is going to... There's some screenception for you. All right. So we have the breakfast foods. S, A, B, C. I'm going to add a D. Add row below. and is going to be our D tier. The D tier is going to be like, you could eat it, you'd really rather not, and then trash is like, I would not eat that. So we're going to start off right on.
There's a single breakfast food that I would throw in trash shit.
I'm going to also consider trash shit to be the like, I'm going to change the name of trash / don't know.
I love breakfast foods.
I do too, but I'm just looking at these and I'm not sure what all of them
I know
necessarily.
we're going to disagree right off the bat, though.
Cereal, where would you put it?
C.
I would go B, personally.
I think cereal is one of the worst breakfast foods.
I can't argue
Especially
too much.
Because, like, I hate sugary cereals, and you already know that. We've talked about this before
Yeah.
because I'm an old man. And so, like, I don't want sugary-ass breakfast, and my old man cereals are pretty generic, even though I like them, and I would so much rather have a real hot meal at breakfast. And
Yeah, I'm with you. Honestly, I still eat cereal pretty frequently, but it's as, like, I saved carbs for the end of my day, and I just want, like, a dessert, but I am lactose intolerant, so I don't want to eat ice cream. Yeah. So I have cereal.
Is that an omelet next?
Yeah, it's an omelet.
A tier.
Yeah.
Omelets
Easy. Hash browns.
S tier.
Okay, see? This is what I'm saying.
English
Same
muffins, hot take, A tier. Fucking love English muffins. You can disagree with me all you want. Throw a peanut butter on an English muffin. Oh my god, they're so good.
Even
or
just
your own breakfast sandwich.
I was gonna say breakfast sandwich, English muffin,
which might be on the list. And if there's a breakfast sandwich in here somewhere, I will I can bump that down.
I actually don't think there is, as I'm looking at this. But
what is this next thing on here?
I don't know. My instinct was bagel, but there's other bagels there. So we're gonna actually just make this the breakfast sandwich.
Somebody's in the chat and they know what that is. Tell us what that is, because I really can't tell. It just looks like dry bread to me.
Yeah, I don't.
Just put that in the don't know for now.
Yep, don't know. Muffins.
I would say B tier at best.
I gotta agree, Kyle. You and I are on the same.
The only muffin that I'm really into is lemon poppy seed, and the rest of them are just okay to me. So.
I do like lemon poppy seeds, but I'm a sucker for like a coffee cake muffin.
Yeah.
That's
fair. I do like coffee cake a lot.
They do hit different. Avocado toast.
Avocado toast. D. I don't give a fuck about avocado toast. I think avocados taste like dirt, though. I'm a bias on avocados. So.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to put this above cereal. Like.
Yeah. Okay.
I would rather.
I would assume that it's probably higher quality. It's just not in my taste realm. So.
Yeah, and that's totally acceptable. Cinnamon rolls.
We might fight on this one because I think cinnamon rolls suck.
I would put cinnamon rolls again ahead of cereal.
I'd probably put it against or above avocado toast personally for me. And if that's where you're willing to put it somewhere in there, I'll take whatever in C category. I think cinnamon rolls are okay, but again, it's like a dessert. You're not eating breakfast. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I would love to disagree with you, but I can't. But I can already tell through this whole thing we're gonna have one fight. Definite fight.
If I eat a cinnamon roll and I'm in the mood for it, I thoroughly enjoy a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
But I have to really want to have like something super sugary for breakfast, which is not common for me.
Makes sense.
I wish I loved fruit. I wish I did.
I love fruit.
I'm not a texture person. I appreciate fruit, and you can put that wherever you want, and I'll let you just have your judgment here.
Fruit alone is a D tier breakfast. If you're eating a breakfast of fruit, I'm sorry. I love fruit. Fruit as a food category would be like A tier for me. But if that is your whole breakfast, what happened? What's wrong?
Like, I make fruit smoothies for breakfast almost every morning, which I would say is probably comparable to like a yogurt parfait, which is next on the list. And I would say that is at least B tier.
The yogurt parfait?
Yeah.
Or a smoothie?
Essentially what I do is I just do what you're seeing in that picture, but I just blend it.
Yeah.
And drink it. You know what I mean? So it's the same concept. Like I do yogurt and fruit and everything.
Ahead or behind of muffins?
I would say ahead.
I would too. I think I'm going to have to agree with you. I would do it with Greek yogurt personally. Got to watch the protein, you know? But... all right, country / breakfast ham.
I don't like ham.
I like ham. I don't love ham as a breakfast food.
D.
I'm not going to argue, but it's going to be top of D because I'd rather eat ham for breakfast than. Yes, yep, easy.
You can put it above hash browns if we're going to rank them in category.
Yeah, I have to. You're right. All right.
Eggs Benedict. I wish I liked it. I think runny eggs gross me the fuck out, so I don't eat Eggs Benedict.
I actually, even though I don't like a lot of sauces, I surprisingly really like hollandaise sauce. But I'll never order this as my breakfast is the thing. Like I will never, maybe one time in my whole life have I been like, I looked at a menu and I was like, yeah, eggs Benedict. So for me, it's like bottom of C tier.
Okay.
Beans.
Breakfast potatoes. Are those beans?
These are beans.
And then that's breakfast potatoes next.
Yeah.
What are the difference between the two potatoes that they have on there? Like what's down to the left of that other potato? I can't see half these freaking pictures.
Yeah, they're a little hard to see. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll just have to put one of the potatoes in the don't know and one of them in wherever we want potatoes. Okay, beans. I've never eaten beans for breakfast in my life.
Yeah, I'm not fucking doing. I'm putting that in trash tier. Honestly, I know it's part of like a traditional English breakfast, and I have eaten those and enjoyed them. But like beans on their own, I'm not fucking eating for breakfast. I had those with dinner like 2 hours ago. That's not a breakfast food.
I think breakfast potatoes are probably, if they're cooked right and they're crispy, are one tier below hash browns. I'd put them in A tier below English muffins.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I'm gonna call these like a hash. I'm gonna call this hash brown casserole.
I don't know what that is. It looks like potato pancakes to me.
Oh, you might be right, actually.
Which I can say that from recognition and still tell you that I've basically never had them.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you want with that.
Yeah, it's gonna go bottom of D tier. No
Biscuits
offense.
and gravy is above hash browns in the S tier.
S tier. I would put it above bacon personally. But that's just me.
I'll take that. I'm a huge biscuits and gravy bitch. So
You make a good biscuits and gravy too.
love biscuits and gravy. This looks like another variety of ham.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Put it next to ham.
Canadian bacon. I would honestly, I'd rather eat whatever ham. Just looking at the picture, I'd rather eat fruit over whatever ham that is.
Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like bologna.
Honestly, not great. Breakfast
Are
sausage.
these supposed to be sausage links?
Yes.
Because that almost looks like a brat.
I don't disagree with you, but
If it's supposed to be sausage links, I like sausage links more than I do patties. I don't know how you feel.
ooh, I'm the opposite actually. Mostly because
Either way,
when I eat sausage, I'm eating a breakfast sandwich, so the patty just works better.
That's fair. I'll buy that. I would still put either of them in the B category.
I'm gonna put both of them in the B category, and
Yeah.
I've made a couple executive decisions. I will concede to the sausage links being on top. Just toast.
Ugh. Middle somewhere of C tier, probably below avocado toast, I guess.
Yeah.
I do like toast, but I usually don't eat toast plain. Obviously, like I'll
Right.
do eggs and toast or whatever. You know?
Yeah. Oatmeal.
Meal, if prepared correctly, is delicious. Yeah, that's fine. Where you
Yeah, I'm going bottom of A. I eat oatmeal almost every day. Do a little PB2, a little protein powder in there, a little
Yeah.
chocolate peanut butter
It's not
action
the
going on.
healthiest way, but you throw a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of maple syrup.
I use the brown sugar maple.
Chef's kiss.
Brown sugar maple. Like, why am I blanking on the name?
Okay,
Cracker oats. I don't know.
talking about.
We'll figure it out.
So they do have all different types of eggs here. So this is
Yes.
sunny side up eggs are next. I think,
Yes.
right? Or is that over easy? I don't fucking know.
Same
different.
shit in my brain. Fried eggs is what I'll just say.
Yeah, fried eggs. I don't eat runny egg yolks, so I think they're gross. You do what you want with that.
For me, fried eggs over scrambled eggs, but I'll put
I
them
am
bottom of
the
B tier.
opposite. I would put scrambled eggs right below an omelet.
I definitely eat scrambled eggs more. Like I literally had it for lunch today. So deviled eggs,
I don't love them.
trash tier for me.
That's fine.
I'd rather eat beans for breakfast before I eat
I don't
deviled
really
eggs.
fuck with deviled eggs. Yeah.
I don't like how you take them out and then you put mustard in them and then fucking. And maybe that's not supposed to be. Actually, it's probably not supposed to be deviled eggs. It's probably supposed to be just like hard boiled eggs,
yeah,
which I
hard-boiled.
do really enjoy. And now that I'm
I
thinking
don't like
about that,
either of those things, but if you want to treat it as a hard boiled, you can put that wherever you want. I don't care.
I'm gonna put it behind D because it's a nice grab and go breakfast, but nothing else. Pan clogs.
I love that you said that because that is why I don't like them.
I love them.
It is just a very, very, very filling piece of slightly sweetened bread. That being said, I don't hate pancakes, and I like when people really fancy them up and do ridiculous shit with them, like pecans and fucking syrup and whipped cream and stupid shit. Like I think they're delicious, but I don't. I would never go to a restaurant and have my primary thing walking in the door be pancakes.
I definitely would. So there's no waffle in this list, which is a glaring oversight.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's a mess.
But I'm team pancakes over waffles I'm team pancakes and French toast over waffles.
I am team pancakes over cinnamon rolls. That's where I would land. If you want to put them bottom of B, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think French toast. Are you saying you like that less or more than pancakes?
I like pancakes more than French toast.
I am the opposite, but I do not care. I would put them either both at the bottom of B or one at the top of C.
I'll do that because I know that you don't like runny eggs.
That's true, I don't.
And I'm actually going to make another executive decision there.
This specific hash brown that is in this picture.
The McDonald's hash brown is S tier. Any hash brown is going to be S tier for me.
We'd have to have a hard, long discussion about whether regular hash browns are better than that or not. Because
We're gonna.
that might be.
All right, writing. That's my topic. You don't get to steal that one from me. I get to talk about that one.
All right, throw this bad boy into the don't know because we don't know.
Yeah,
what it is.
unless we want to use this set of
Just leave it.
potatoes as the filler for waffles.
Nah, just leave it.
All right, fine. Bagels.
I feel like you said that with a tone of I don't like bagels in your voice, and I love bagels.
I have a take here. Bagels on their own, or with any type of cream cheese, fine. Totally passable. Bagels are still the best bread for a breakfast sandwich.
Yes.
So I think because of that, I have to go top of B tier.
Burgers Bagels in Arizona with a green chili cheddar bagel breakfast sandwich. Can't beat it.
That is not the one I got, but I can tell you,
Bagel.
I can vouch the bagels there were amazing.
So yes, I
Yeah,
accept your
top of B tier.
Yeah.
Croissants.
I don't ever eat them for breakfast. It's more of a
Same.
dinner food for me, so I don't care.
I'm gonna put them at the top of D tier because I do enjoy them more than everything else on that list.
I actually do like croissants. I just never think of them as a breakfast food.
And then here's gonna be the fight. Donuts are S tier.
I will let you get away with it if you put it at the bottom.
Thank
but
you.
This is what I think about donuts. They're
It's
another
dessert.
really sweet, desserty food. And, dude, like, throw me back to high school, and I would fuck up some of those mini, like, sugar donuts that they sell
Right.
at fairs. Love that shit. If somebody puts a donut in front of me at work, gonna eat it. 100% because I'm usually hungry and it's free. That being said, don't love donuts. No secret there.
But you went out of your way to go get me donuts on my birthday in Arizona at like 6 a.m. So
Give the people what they want.
I appreciate it. Biscuits.
Alone, separate from biscuits and gravy, you can throw that straight into the fucking trash.
Yeah, I'm never eating just. I'm not taking a biscuit and putting butter on it and eating that as my breakfast.
Yeah, nope, not doing that.
All right, last one: steak and eggs.
I feel like I have to just defer to you on this.
I eat this all the time. This is above bacon to me as an S tier.
Okay, I will fight you on that. You have to put it below bacon.
Fine, I can work with that.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm a fat ass. I normally make bacon with the steak and eggs. So
I don't know that I've ever had steak and eggs in my life, but I'm not a huge steak person like you are. So
I love steak. But that is our breakfast tier list. I will actually post this one on Twitter. I know we have said that 1,000 times and never actually done it, but I will
that
make
pretty
sure
quick.
to do it.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah, that was what? Just over 12 minutes or so,
Something like that.
give or take. Michael says, what about chicken and waffles?
Oh, bro.
Important question, because that would be S tier.
Give me the chicken and waffles all day long. I just had
Yeah.
it while I was down south. Delicious. Love it.
I think the only thing I would order over chicken and waffles in most cases would be biscuits and gravy. And there's enough restaurants by me that do like a chicken and waffles and biscuits and gravy kind of thing that I get away with having both at the same time. Chicken fried steak with sausage gravy, he also mentions, also goated.
Haven't had it, I don't think. But again, I'm not a huge steak person.
Yeah. Kyle is not the person to go to for steak ideas, but except for
However,
those
I did ugly steaks. I know that's where you're going.
bro,
Ugly
I
steaks.
am dying to have another ugly steak.
We got introduced to ugly steaks, and that is by far my favorite steak.
It was by far the best steak, the best
That price point.
individual meal that we had when we were with y'all, I think was that.
Yeah, ugly steaks are so good.
It was so good.
I don't know what the fuck they do to that meat. I don't know if I want it.
I found it. Remember I texted y'all. I found the
Yeah,
like
what
trademark
cut
for
it
it.
was,
It's like a
whatever.
bavette
Yeah.
steak that's butterflied and pulverized. Like it's not anything crazy, but it turns so good.
They're so tender.
I want to make
A lot
tacos out of them. I want to
It
have
would
like
actually be a
steak
good
sandwiches.
carne asada.
Yeah,
if
that's what I'm
If
thinking.
you like chopped it up and threw it
Yeah.
in a taco, that'd be pretty good.
Throw it in a taco, burrito, throw it on a
Yeah.
sandwich, anything. Ugh. And whatever seasoning that was that you got from, I think you got it from the same place.
We did. I don't remember what it was, but we did.
It was delicious.
Yeah. All right, that was a good topic. That's fun. Are you done with your first drink?
I am done with my first drink.
Let's hear what you have to say.
I think you would really like it. It wasn't that sour. It tasted like an orange dreamsicle.
I do love orange dreamsicle.
I'm going to give it a 7.6.
I feel like I've talked to you about this on the podcast before, but if you get a Blue Moon and drop a shot of vanilla McGillicuddy's in it, it tastes a lot like a orange dreamsicle.
You haven't? And I'm upset that you haven't because that sounds amazing.
We were downtown one time in Tucson pre-COVID, and somebody told us to try that, and it was good.
I want to try it now. So catch me at my local liquor store, which I can walk to now. Perks in Newhouse. It's still a long walk, but I could do it.
I feel like I owe people what this bottle actually is. I can't remember what year it is, but anyway, Templeton Rye, 9.2.
Ooh, that's your highest rating by far.
That being said, though, you can't really comp a whiskey to a beer.
Yeah,
But of the liquors I've tried, Templeton Rye is so dang good.
Yeah,
And this is way better than the 4-year.
I've made it clear. I like Templeton Rye. I'm a sucker for a good rye whiskey.
Yeah, it's good. Really good.
All right, what are your?
It's one of the few whiskeys I can drink straight too. It has like a slightly smoky flavor to it. And it's very, very smooth. So I'll drop like an ice cube in it just to chill it. But I usually don't drink a lot of just straight whiskey slow. Like if I'm taking shots, I can take pretty much any sort of whiskey, but like a slow sipping whiskey, this is really good.
I like ryes as like sipping whiskeys, which is weird because I normally like I'm not. I was talking about it on Twitter today. I'm like not a huge rye fan, but ryes are some of my favorite like straight whiskeys to drink.
Yeah,
and best old fashions as well.
I could go one of two ways with this next topic.
What about your next drink?
Yeah, that'll buy me some time to think about my next topic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My next drink is slightly warm now, so that's unfortunate, but it's the Nimbus Brewing Company Blonde Ale.
We stand a Harry Potter themed beer.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see if it's good. It's been sitting in my fridge a little too long.
I am drinking Pipeworks Brewing's Pineapple Orange Banana, which is another sour ale, much to actually it doesn't specifically state it's a sour ale. It just says ale with pineapple, orange juice, and banana. So this might be.
Tell you, I am a big pineapple guy.
Same.
And I say that, and I am not a big fruit person. As I already kind of mentioned, I don't really like to eat a lot of fruit. I'm weird about a lot of texture. But if you get a good ripe pineapple, I can fuck up some like regular ass pineapple, and I love all things pineapple.
Pineapple is the 101 of fruits.
Throw a little coconut in that shit. Love it.
You are a sucker for a good
Pina
pina colada.
So fucking good.
Cal made some homemade ones on my birthday.
Did that too.
Jess and I were hanging out in the pool. Everybody else was recovering.
That's true.
AKA Kyle and Carly.
Yep. We were there. We were doing that.
It was a good day.
Brought out some pinas.
Delicious, by the way.
All right. I've got my beer. You've introduced your beer. I think I'm going to save one of the things that I wanted to talk about for another day because I want to come up with some more thoughts on it. So I would like to talk about basically a lack completely of availability of video games right now. And we can talk about this from any different angle, and I don't really care which direction we go with this. But the bottom line for me is that the only title that has been released in the last 3 years at least. When was Call of Duty dropped? Vanguard, which not even Vanguard. Go back to modern or
Warzone. That was
When was
20. I want to say 20. Either 20. No, late 2019.
And I don't even know that I was that amped up for that. But I would say that the only title, at least in the last 3 years, maybe 4. I don't even.
2020. March 10th, 2020 was the initial release of Warzone.
Yes, I would argue that the last one that I really was looking forward to was probably actually Blackout, and then I was like begrudgingly willing to transition over to like the Warzone and the new game. So anyway, I would say it's probably been 3 years since I heard a title that I was really excited about, and the only one within that time that I've been excited about and haven't played yet and should is Elden Ring.
Yes, also
But
should.
that game is, based on the gameplay that I've seen, I'm probably not going to like it very much, to be completely honest. I don't love that type of game.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me a lot of like your like Final Fantasy. It looks like that type of gameplay to me, and I could be wrong, and maybe I just need to give it a shot, but it is not my typical style of gameplay. So we'll see if I can dig into Elden Ring and get into it. I know the internet has just been blowing up with things about Elden Ring, and I think the story sounds just so freaking good, and I've gotten excited about it. But my point is more to the fact that it's been 3 years, and that's the only title that I've heard of that I've been excited about. And somebody could throw out something else, and maybe there's something else that, okay, I lied. Cyberpunk I was excited about, and it flopped.
Yeah, you and I were both so excited about it, and then we both grinded it, and then we were like, yeah, glad it's done.
Yeah, I finished it, and I was like, okay.
I think I finished it in like a day and a half. I remember the first night it came out, I think I played it till like 4 a.m. Jess was really mad at me.
I will say that they did a brilliant job with graphics. Outside of the glitching problems that they had, it was a gorgeous game.
Yeah.
Like the views that you got and like the city scenery was absolutely fantastic. But the story was short and it was okay. I don't know, for like a highly anticipated game like that, I was pretty let down. It seemed like there was like a lot of functionality just missing from it, from what they had talked up. Like it was much more simple gameplay than what I anticipated. Because you know what you want is in that is like this like GTA mixed with Deus Ex. Like you want this like highly moddable, like very in-depth gameplay that's interactive, but in like this huge city, you know, and that's not what it was at all.
Yeah, it was a disappointment, to say the least.
What about you though? What have you heard about in the last any time frame that you want to pick, really, but 3 years for sure? That's been exciting to you, and I don't even know, like we can kind of branch off after you talk about that. We just need to kind of figure out like what the fuck is going on.
Honestly, I think the only thing that's excited me over the last few years with video games, the fact that NCAA football is coming back. Like, I really think that's it. Like, it's just been such a lull. And, like, I get why it's been a lull, right? Like, a few games came out that did really, really well in Apex, in Fortnite, in Warzone. Like, the Battle Royale genre, like, really just took over. And honestly, my competitiveness loves that. I love always competing for something every single game. Whereas, like, it got to the point where, like, Call of Duty, just like, your KD's cool, but you're not in middle school where you're all talking about your KDs every day anymore. Like, it doesn't matter that I can run around a pub and go quadruple positive. Like, nobody cares about that anymore. And I think, like, so my competitiveness loves the Battle Royale aspect, but, like, I think game developers are just lost on what to do.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that was going to be the next thing that I asked you. And I don't know if it's right to say that like the Battle Royale genre has killed other genres, but I think it has effectively squashed a developer's incentive to get into those types of games, because nobody is playing those types of games. Like, you have your very small niche groups that are still like, Elden Ring, fuck yeah, bro, let me get it. Right, but then you still have a majority of your players probably that are like, you know, your daily active users, if you want to use that metric, are probably on things like Apex, Fortnite still somehow, Warzone, you know, you name it, any of the other battle royales.
I think a big reason for it is the prominence of streaming nowadays, like video game streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever platform you're using to stream. Like, game developers have an incentive to make something that is catching to the eye and people want to play, in the aspect of, you basically just need to convince a big streamer to play your game, and then it's super popular for a while. Like, Fortnite has made billions of dollars from being popular because streamers started to play it.
Yeah, that's true.
Among Us went from a 300 a month player base to millions for like a 6-month span, just because streamers found the game.
Yeah.
Like, the incentive anymore is to just make something good enough to get in front of people's eyes, and maybe it'll take off. And if it doesn't work, you try that 12 times until you have the one game that hits. You make your hundreds of millions of dollars. You've paid everybody in the company's salaries for however long you need to, and there's just no incentive to like recreate the wheel. Like, even with games like, I would say probably the most hyped game in the past, I'll call it 8 months to be generous, has probably been Halo coming back out.
Yeah.
And that had a ton of hype and it was doing really, really well. But hackers ruined that game really, really quick too. So I think game companies are scared to make a game where there's PvP if they don't have a great anti-cheat ready to go because of how bad it's hurt some games. I think they're also scared to make something that people, if they make a game that's the worst piece of shit ever made, their company's out of business in 8 months. Like, unless you're an EA who can get away with it, unless you're a Blizzard who can get away with it, unless you're an Activision who can get away with it. Activision, Blizzard, same company anyway. Like, unless you're one of those companies, you have to, you can't be a small market and put out an average game anymore. Like, you have to be either a big player to put out a good game, or you have to find something that nobody's done, like Fall Guys. Nobody did that. I mean, yeah, it's Mario Party with other incentives, but
that's the crazy thing though, is that like what you're kind of getting at too is that you didn't need to put $10 million into a game. You just needed to create a creative concept that works with a user base, and then, like you said, you got to get somebody to play it that matters. Because it's very hard to get recognized as like a indie game on Steam, for example. You're not going to get the plug from that unless you have somebody that's going out and playing your game. But it doesn't take a lot, which is incredible given the fact that, and I just looked it up to see, but Unreal Engine 5 just released, and you look at the capabilities that Unreal Engine 5 provides, and it's like, holy shit. Like, the level that games can get to in terms of graphics is incredible. But this battle royale and it's popular indie game style thing like Fall Guys or whatever, has incentivized companies to steer away from utilizing or putting all the money into the products like that. And it kind of sucks because for people like me, I can use like one of those battle royales. And then other than that, I don't want to play battle royales.
Yeah, you never want to play. I mean, I play a lot of Apex. Apex is my main battle royale now. It's my main game in general now. And I love it, and Dane likes it, but you really don't.
I don't hate it. I don't hate Apex. I'm just bad at it, so I don't like to play it. But it's not even about that. For me, oh yeah, that makes sense.
They're making a Matrix game? See, that's the other thing, is like marketing has become shit. Like, I didn't know there's a Matrix game coming out.
Yeah, for me, right? Like, what I want is an immersive experience in a game. Like, God of War was the last great game that I played. God of War was so fucking good.
For me, it was Fallout 76, maybe?
Did you play God of War?
No.
Okay, yeah, you're missing out for sure. Because, like, Fallout was okay, and, like, I get the storyline there, but, like, the experience that you got from God of War was incredible. Because not only did they have the storyline to back it up, but they also had, the graphics and everything along with that, too. The Witcher 3, God of War, like, those types of games are just insane. Like, they're so good.
Right.
And you're not having the incentives necessary, maybe, for the companies to keep producing those types of games.
Well, I think companies...
Go ahead,
I think companies found out too, like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Like, Pokemon didn't release a new game. Like, Pokemon Go is arguably it's not arguably, it's the biggest jump that the brand has ever made in terms of a game.
Yeah.
But it's still the core game, and it's like, and I think we're getting to that point where it's like, you can't really make an open world game anymore because Grand Theft Auto's done that forever. So if you make one, you're just knocking off Grand Theft Auto.
But
you
guess
can't
what they're
make
doing.
Well, they're
Harry
doing it.
Potter open world, baby, it's coming.
They kind of already had that though.
No, they didn't. Where?
Kind of. I remember playing a Harry Potter game on like PS2.
Yeah, they had all sorts of the ones where you'd play like an individual storyline from like, movie 1 or book 1. But now it's open world, create your own character, get sorted. Like, it's gonna be fucking dope. I'm so excited for that shit. And if they let me down, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I don't even know.
Let's hope it's good, because we're nerds and I now want to stream that, and I want to see what house your character ends up in versus mine.
I would 100% do that. We can side by side stream that. But anyway, I've burned up enough time. My point is, there's just not enough in there out there for gaming right now. I'm hoping that there's some good titles coming in the next couple of years, because right now I am very, very fucking disappointed, and I'm a little bit burnt out on the Battle Royale, if I had to be honest.
I'll never get burnt out on Battle Royale, which...
A little bit, I said. I'll still play it. I have fun. I really do have fun with it still, but I need something new. I need a story. I need something to get into, which is why I've been replaying Witcher 3, because I wanted something to get back into. But, Jake, I took enough time. You have 4 minutes and 45 seconds. What's your second topic?
I was going to say, I could do a really quick topic, but okay, never mind. Screw the other idea I had. We're just going to do a really quick topic. What are 4 pieces of technology that you have that you think are a waste of money, or you think you could use them more effectively?
That's a tough one.
I'll go number 1, my Apple Watch. I use it.
Waste?
I don't think it's a waste. I think I could use it better.
Yeah.
Like I don't like the way it feels on my wrist when I'm typing, and that's just such like a little, like, it's such a minor inconvenience that makes me not wear my watch when I'm at home.
I would have to put that in the other category of things that I could probably use better. Like, I also have an Apple Watch. I love it.
No, that's what I'm
there's
saying. It's
probably a
something
ton
that
of
I could use
functionality
better.
that I don't understand. Yeah.
I think I understand the functionality pretty well. Like, I've figured out a lot of like things that I really enjoy with it, but I just don't wear it as much as I should for what it cost.
Another one that I need to take advantage of more, completely honestly, like pay via phone or Apple Watch, like tap to pay.
Yeah,
I
Jess
never
uses
use
it,
and I have it completely available to me, and I just never use it.
Jess, her credit card's been broken, and she's waiting until she goes through the process of legally changing her name before getting a replacement credit card. So she has been using exclusively Apple Pay for like almost 2 years at this point.
Which I do use a lot of like Venmo and things like that, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, physically paying with my cell phone as a
No.
credit card is like, yeah, I definitely need to do that more often.
Yeah, I think the only time I do that is like at Starbucks / Dunkin' when they're like scan your barcode and you pay with the gift card that you have on there.
Yeah. Slightly
Think that-
different, right? Like you add your card to your Apple Wallet and you can just tap.
Yeah, that's what Jess does, and it's
Yeah.
much
That's one
better.
for me for sure.
Let's see.
To be completely honest, I have so much computing power at my hands. Like, I should be using my computer for better things too.
You should be editing our episodes. You should be creating overlays for us.
I wish in my dream world, without wanting to put the work in, like I would be developing my own little games or whatever on my computer, because I definitely have the computing power to be able to do that type of thing.
You-
I just don't.
You definitely can do that, and I'll play test your games. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't have the time. I really don't have the fucking time for that shit. It would take me like 10 years to develop a single game.
You just gotta make time, Kyle.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have a smart thermostat that I have no idea how to use.
Oh my god, I'm jealous. I want one actually.
My house came with it, and I just don't.
Why don't you fucking figure it out?
It's honestly not too different than the one you have right behind you there. It's just like a Honeywell smart thermostat.
This is not smart.
Well, mine is. I don't know how to
When
use
I
it.
think smart, I think one that like you can control with like an app.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
I can control my oven with an app. That's pretty
that's
cool.
insane. I want that for my garage door.
I do too. That's another thing. I haven't changed my garage door code since I bought this house. If by some magical way the people who I bought this house from hear this podcast, you can break in. It's the same garage code. I don't know how to change it. I'm just waiting till I can buy a smart one.
I'm trying to think of what it's called, but whatever in the 2014 timeframe that Chevy called their audio technology in their vehicles. Fucking A. It's like, I don't know what it's called. It's fucking garbage. So that is one piece of technology that I could just completely fucking get rid of in my life.
Oh, I got plenty that I could get rid of. That TV probably has been turned on in 2 years, but I got it. I also have a couch over here, which I'm getting rid of. So if anybody wants to buy a couch, let me know.
Is it a love seat? It looks like a love seat.
No, it's a full 3-section, like 3-panel couch.
Nice.
It's in here in case this room ever turns into like the man cave where like the guys could all hang out in here and the wives could all hang out there.
Yeah.
But most of the time we just end up playing like drinking games anyway. So we all end up, yeah.
All right. What was your prompt again? For sure. Like you said, utilize better. What was the other half of it?
Or you think you own it, but it's a waste that you own it.
I don't like saying this, but I think the Nintendo Switch is arguably right on the edge of being wasted technology for me.
Yeah.
Which is sad because it comes in waves where I find it very, very appealing, right? Like I just went on a work trip. I took it with me because it was very easy to take with me. We ended up playing a shitload of Mario Kart. I got a lot of use out of it. 90% of the year, it sits on a shelf under my TV and doesn't get used.
And that's why I won't buy one, because I know I'd be the exact same way as you. Like I'd have random spurts of like, this is awesome. And then I'd be like, why did I spend $400 on a thing that's sitting on a shelf?
That being said, I truly have gotten a lot of good times out of that. Like I've played Mario Party on it, Mario Kart a lot, and Breath of the Wild was probably worth it, and it's like in and of itself to play that game because Breath of the Wild was a fantastic game as well. But for the most part, it is an underutilized piece of technology for sure for me.
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot with me. I wish I could say I spend my money wisely on technology, but I don't. I've got like 4 Bluetooth speakers. I only ever use the one that you can see right there.
Those ones are nice though.
It's a phenomenal speaker. Only gets used when I'm working out. It gets used for like an hour a day, 5 days a week. That's it. I have a treadmill. That's technically technology. I probably should use it more. In fact, I'm going to have to start using it more because
I can't imagine somebody in the chat, like if they had a Peloton, wouldn't say that was the piece of technology for them.
Yeah,
I feel like Peloton was the biggest marketing scam of the fucking COVID generation. Like
100%.
So many fucking people bought those, and they're just probably collecting dust in most houses.
I know so many people who have like the Peloton app and get to use all of the Peloton workouts and just have an exercise bike.
Yeah, we have like $100 exercise bike in our like spare room, and Carly has done that before. She used the Peloton app and didn't have to have a fucking Peloton to do it. It works just the same.
Yeah, it's a waste. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. For me, kind of, I have a Ring doorbell.
I love my Ring doorbell.
I love it, but I don't. One, the chime doesn't work, so it only if somebody rings our doorbell, I just get the notification to my app.
You have it on your new house?
Yeah.
Do you have well, we can talk about that later. We'll talk about it offline. Maybe I can help you fix it.
Maybe.
I have problems installing mine, so we can talk about it.
I hope you can fix it because I don't want to have to call an electrician, but I'm probably going to have to. When it comes to technology, I think that's just about it that I have wasted money on. Probably going to waste more money here soon because that's just who I am. I've got like 4
money on a lot of technology.
I've got like 5 spare keyboards because I keep upgrading.
Yeah, I would say that my PC that I built as an HD PC that was supposed to be portable was a giant waste of money, but I made it back when I sold it. Like I didn't lose money on it.
It wasn't. You and I got to hang out your whole work trip.
I got some decent use out of it, but I didn't need that much money.
Oh yeah, you did not know.
What we did.
You could have made a laptop work for that, which you also have.
Yeah, I do now. I didn't then, but I do now.
We have like
laptop is a little underutilized.
We have like 3 laptops that just sit on a desk in our living room.
3 laptops under my desk right now, but they're all old shitty ones that
ours
are
ours
fucking throw them away. But
ours, we don't even need to pull the hard drives out of ours. I could sell them for $50 a piece. DM me if you want one.
I don't think I have anything else. That's probably it for me.
I have a sound bar that doesn't really add any benefit because I don't have a subwoofer to like give it any semblance of surround sound, and the TV speakers are just fine.
I have a soundbar subs combo, and it has been completely underutilized in my life. That is fair. And I've tried to do a better job more recently of like when we watch movies and shit, I'll try to kick that thing on. And I'm going to probably watch the rest of Saving Private Ryan tonight. And when I do that...
Is it because it's on Netflix? Did you just find out it's on Netflix? Because I just found out it was on Netflix and watched it on Saturday.
I actually just told Carly that I really wanted to watch it, and she's like, it's on Netflix. And I was like, okay, we're watching it.
Uncle Kyle says, mail me one. I'm assuming you're talking about the laptops. Message me on Facebook. I probably can. They're pieces of shit. They basically don't work.
Yeah.
But if you want one, maybe we can make something happen.
I actually had somebody recently, for whatever reason, think that I was like a tech guru because I'm getting a computer science
I get
degree,
that all the time.
Somehow makes you think, I don't know. I'm not that good at tech. Anyway, they were like, so what type of laptop should I buy to be able to do schoolwork? I was like, any.
Bro, we used
any is the answer.
When I worked in college admissions, we would get that question all of the time, and I'm like, one that turns on.
Word
like
processing.
you're writing words. Like
this is what I told that person too. I was like, the only thing that's going to be your limiting factor is hard drive space.
I say RAM just because I know they're not. Inevitably, they're
I don't even know
not.
if you need it, dude.
For if
You
you're
have
using
a gig
Chrome,
of RAM, and as long as you have the hard drive, that's fair, I guess. But even then, like a gig of RAM, and you have a decent hard drive space, you can run an internet browser and fucking word processor and be fine.
I want to find. We eventually just reached out to IT and we're like, "What do you recommend?" And they were like, "Just tell him to buy this." And it was like i5 processor. I want to say it was like a gig of RAM, 500 gig hard drive, like just super basic. But I've got a longer topic that kind of stems off of that I'll start next week with.
I'm down.
But it's going to be, I hope you're really going to enjoy it. I may tell you.
Wrap it up, Jake.
Shut up. I may tell you that next week is a one topic a piece episode because I think this could be a really long conversation that we have.
Okay.
And
I'll try to come up. I have a good one for that.
If you can come up with like one long one, I think that'll be good. But that is all that we have for this week. Kyle, before I officially wrap it up, what do you give the Nimbus?
The Nimbus is a 5.4. Not great. It's also been in my fridge for a long time, so I won't disparage the company too much. If I had a fresh one, it might be a little better. I don't know. It's not very good, to be completely honest.
Mine is good. Be better if it was colder. Probably should have started with this one.
Sure, be cooler if you did.
Should be cooler if you did.
What's the actual line? Is that what it is? Be a lot cooler if you did.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Right?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 5.
No
for shoutouts. I'm gonna give it a 5.9, with the caveat that mine was pretty warm by the time I got to it, and I think if you had it cold, it'd be a lot better.
Okay. All right. That is gonna wrap the episode up for us, guys. Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Two Average Husbands. We had it, we did it, we concluded it, we had a good time. If you like what we're doing on this here podcast, we like to do it all the time, every week, once a week. I don't know, I'm just talking shit now. Anyway,
I was gonna say.
Thanks for coming and joining us, guys. It's been another good episode of the Two Average Husbands. As we talked about at the beginning of the episode, if you missed it, we're starting branch off on the channel here. We're going to do the Husbands and Dragons partition of this podcast, so that we'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons with some homies. Some of them you've met, some of them you haven't. We're going to try to break that into digestible portions for you guys as we continue on through, and we'll play that campaign. Other than that, thanks again for joining us. See us on the social medias, on Twitter at @2AVG Husbands. Jake is at Perry_FF. I am Kyle and Herson. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see both of our handles there underneath of our pictures. Otherwise, you can also find us find anything for the Two Average Husbands on either of our personal link trees. But we're pretty much all over the freaking place. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts, all the social media, you'll find us. Jake, what do you got?
Kyle wrapped it up nice and pretty for us this week, so I don't have to say too much. Like Kyle said, make sure you check it out. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a comment. Follow us on the platforms. We are at the most followers that we've ever had. Most listens
in the videos.
Yes. Show up to the episodes. Interact in the videos. Interact in the Discord, which we may get better at. We keep saying we're going to get better at it.
I posted today and I said I'm actually here.
Respect, because I'm not, and I have Discord open. I'm looking at it. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. We will see you all next week. And as always, don't forget to tell somebody that you love them.
Peace.